Hi, what new possibilities will you create? Today's guests will share their story and provide insight. From my network to yours, let's get to it.
I'm Captain Mowbray, author, motivational speaker, career consultant. When you have a mental game plan for change, you're ready for anything.
So I'm going to say that again. Live in the present moments with a present mindset. Let's put it there. If you're giving energy to things that don't serve you, your light field is being depleted.
Listen to understand. It helps you understand the other mindsets.
Fiction books are fun to me because they're able to take you out of the world, which is why I like to read them.
I am Ron T. Young. I'm a actor, photographer, director, graphic designer.
And so for me, I decided a long time ago that I wanted good memories. But I didn't know that this was what I was going to be doing. I did know I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I did not know what that meant. This was very surprising to me. Say yes as much as you can.
I'm Jamil Shabazz, also known as J Styles here in Seattle. As happy as an individual as I am inside, sometimes you watch television, man, it can just start to dampen your spirit. We could blame this on the pandemic or whatever, but the reality is a lot of us would still be functioning if we weren't ordered to stay home. As it says in the Quran, which is the book that Muslims read, fasting was prescribed for you so that you may learn self-restraint. And you need self-discipline to run. You need physical and mental, spiritual. You need all the strength in the world when you run. We look at a rat as being nasty.
Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Hey,
hey.
You got it to work.
We are.
Hey, what's up, Michael?
What's up? How's it going?
What's going on?
Michael's on his way.
All right, there's two Michaels, by the way, so make sure you know.
MJ,
So Michael, should we call you MJ or should we call you Michael?
Absolutely. Call me MJ so it makes it easy.
To make it easier? All right, good. So we're good. We got some good traffic. A lot of the members from the club is already connecting too, which is awesome. So what I was sharing real quick while Michael comes too was just the intentions, right, of the show. One is just kind of keep finding ways to expand our awareness, right? Awareness of opportunities we can expand on. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Awesome, perfect. And then number two is what new possibilities are opening up. I know you guys doing some cool, fascinating, organic things, and I love for folks to kind of hear that and get perspective what they could be doing in their small businesses or in their personal life. And then three is what some tools we can leave behind, write down skills they can provide just to navigate this uncertainty, right? And so this is session 6, believe it or not, Brittany. This is session 6.
It's 6, not
number
5.
6. Isn't crazy? Week 5, but because the demand's been so high, I've been having like 2 sessions. Like last week I had my cousin, he's a photographer, and then I had a business owner that owns his own barbershop. That would made it number 4. Was it 4 and 5, right? Yeah. So it made this one 6. So
Yes, and I do appreciate last week too how he was talking about using sunglasses for a filter. That was crazy.
That was crazy, right? That was dope. I said, Ronald, that was dope to share that. So cool, man. So maybe you do while Michael comes, maybe each of you guys can kind of tell folks who you are. Right? So Brittany, maybe tell you about yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for having us. We are just so excited, and everything that you've been doing on here is just so engaging, and we love it. So thank you. I am Brittany Flower. I am the Member Experience Director at the Columbia Tower Club, and I have been here for about 6 months, but it's crazy to think that 2 of those months have been not with members.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, you have virtually.
Virtually.
You've been connected.
Just like you, Mr. Rhodes, I am such a people person, and so it is hard. Not saying that other people aren't feeling it, but oh my goodness, not having that connection in person, it has been a little difficult for me. So I miss having our members in the club. It has been it's been a little rough on me, but so basically everything that I do at the club, member experience, is just kind of what it sounds. So from the minute that someone walks in our door through the elevator on the 75th floor of the Columbia Tower.
I know, I missed that view.
We're up a little high.
Can you show? Is it foggy? Is it foggy behind you?
No. Here, Michael.
Hey, where's my cocktail? Where's my cocktail?
Get some.
Look at that view, guys. Look at that view. Oh, I missed that.
There's
view.
the wheel.
Oh.
And then
Live in Seattle, guys. Live in Seattle.
Yeah. And Jesse, you're the other way, right? You're over.
I'm right on Madison. You're right.
Yeah.
I'm waving at you right now. I can see y'all. I love it. That tall, beautiful building in the city. I love it.
So member experiences is pretty much everything from when you first walk in the door to making sure that you are connected and engaged, that you find value in the club, and that it's the experience that you're looking for. Oh, we have drinks now, so we're cheers.
I know. Where's my drink?
You got to get the kids to make you something.
Yeah, exactly.
But I did. Oh, I'm gonna show you something real quick. I did get this from you guys.
Yeah, these aren't diet drinks.
Oh my Lord.
But I did get this. Hey, I was able to get this up.
Yeah.
There you go. Nice.
Yeah. Jesse got
Nice.
wine yesterday. So
Yeah, 2 bottles of wine. I got picked up 2 bottles of wine from you guys.
Yes.
So that's pretty much, what I do here. There's programming right now. Currently, it's virtual programming, and then just making sure that members are happy and that they like their club. So a big retention piece, and I absolutely love my job. I wake up. They say that if you do what you love, you never work a day, and I seriously feel that way. Don't
tell MJ and Michael that.
I know, right?
They made that increase.
Yeah, right. She may not need that.
She don't need that.
That's already in the program. You have to say it out loud.
So MJ, go ahead. Who are you, MJ? Tell everyone. I know who you are. But who
All right.
MJ?
So my name is Michael Johnson. I go by MJ because there's always another Michael that's somewhere in the building.
No kidding.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm the director of operations. So basically what I'm responsible for is making sure that the day-to-day happenings in the club are getting executed flawlessly. So we typically have a bunch of events that are going on, whether it be a private event or breakfast, lunch, and dinner that's happening in clubs. I also help out with wine dinners, doing a bunch of different random things that make sure that the front desk is going well. So everything that you could possibly think of, I have my hand in. One of the things that I really appreciate about my job as being the director of operations is the connections that I'm able to make with everybody. At any point in the club, I know 85% of the people, and I can walk up and have a legitimate conversation about their job, about life, about situations. And that's one of the things that I have never had at any other job that I've ever worked at. And so the sense of community here is really, really great and fulfilling. And the genuine connections and honest conversations that you can have in this place is phenomenal. That you can have any other place other than the Columbia Tower Club. So that's one of the things that I appreciate. And my overall responsibility is just making sure that people like you are having a great time. So when I come up and I see you in the club, I'm giving you a hug, showing you some love, and making sure that you're having a great time.
And make sure you tell him. And listen, he's a diehard Seahawks fan.
Yeah, yes.
Everyone knows.
Go Hawks.
I won't do it. I'm a diehard 49ers fan. I ain't think that. I should have had it right here. I should have had it right here behind me. Missed opportunity. But and we still talk and have fun. And so you're right. It's very authentic. And it's to your point, a lot of the best conversations and just a lot of think tank conversations happens in the club. So that's been cool for me. That's why I go there. So Ken, me, Rick Toms, Andre, a whole bunch of us get together often, just think tank time about what's the next possibility we're creating. We've been doing this for years, and that hasn't stopped due to COVID-19. If anything, it's increased it because I'm sitting on my couch and I'm like, okay, what new thing I'm gonna create now and make real? So I appreciate you guys providing that creative space for me. Sometimes I'm there every day. Don't tell everyone that. Sometimes I'm working from there. I told my team, if you don't see me in the office, because I'm sitting on the same fifth floor.
That's fair. That's 100% fair. And speaking of which, too, I actually had the honor of talking to Andre Core for about half an hour today. I just went to text him to see how he was doing, and we had a nice, good, heartful conversation about everything that's going on in life, and his son and his family, and just everything. And he's doing some good stuff with his business, and so
real good.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I said those genuine connections, and it's nice to be able to text a member out of the blue and just check on their family and see how they're doing, and then we have a half an hour conversation just checking up. So again, one of the benefits.
That's dope. And to your point, Have you seen that increase now, or with the I think it's increased. I talk to you just as much as I do when I was in the club.
Yeah.
Have you seen this? How has that momentum shifted? Us not physically being it, but still being part of that membership family, right?
Yeah, I think that one of the things, because we don't get to see everybody every single day, what happens is I know for me in particular, I have so many thoughts there in my head, and I'll think about a particular person, and I'm like, you know what? They probably would appreciate if I reach out to them and say hi. So I'll just text them and be like, hey, just want to check and make sure you and the family are good. And once you do that, then all of a sudden, a conversation happens.
Right.
And typically I go and see those people, and people miss those connections and people miss those conversations because there's so much random that's going off. So if you're able to establish that connection with somebody through your, basic interactions, then all of a sudden, the actual connection that you make is genuine and it means something, especially right now when everybody's kind of going through and feeling depressed. Don't watch the news,
Correct.
So anything that you can do that can talk about, your kids, your business, or anything that you can be successful at is a good stimulant for you and makes you feel good about what's going on. So that's what I try and do, is make sure that everybody's getting a little bit of that love.
One key thing I gotta ask too, because I saw gratitude guys on here too, is actually one of my questions. I'm a big believer in this, and I always say, how you find gratitude in every possible opportunity, even now. And you're highlighting a couple of those things too. But from a personal side and business side, how you find gratitude? Since you just had a cool session with him yesterday, I wanted to ask that first. Like, how you find gratitude?
Well, thank you for putting the plug into the gratitude guy. That was an excellent session yesterday.
It was.
And, I had a lot of takeaways from that session. I actually texted David this morning about, being appreciated for the opportunity to go through that and experience a lot of stuff. One of the things that I try to do in order to feel gratitude and thankful for is start off with, why am I here? My primary focus is to be a great dad and take care of my kids and make sure that they have a good foundation. So I start off with, making sure that my family's in a good place. And once I go in and make sure my family's in a good place, and then I kind of work my way backwards and kind of appreciate being employed by Club Corp. I'm appreciative of, working with such fabulous people. Brittany's great over here. Michael Anderson's fantastic. And we have a strong support system around here. There's a lot of different jobs that people have where they don't appreciate what's going on right now because they're like, well, it's difficult because we're getting furloughed or we're getting this going on and nobody appreciates me. Everybody's struggling right now, but you got to find something in it in order to give you purpose. And that's one of the things that I'm grateful for, is just having the ability to have free thoughts, to think positive about what's going on, and make sure that, that I'm doing a positive thing each and every single day.
No, that's well said. I mean, wow. Yes. Mention that too. Is Michael still here too? Should we introduce Michael real quick?
Yeah, no problem.
I love that. And tell him answer the same question too. Is that they're doing social distancing, guys. They're like trying to pass the phone. There you go.
Yourself when you fell down like that.
Hey, Michael, how are you?
I'm telling you, this is an expensive studio we're using right now.
You would die laughing if you saw this setup.
I gotta see it. I wish I could see it.
With the computer, with it's working. It's working.
It's working.
Because for MJ and for Brittany, it's not much of a concern, the angle. But for me, because I'm a little seasoned, I'm very careful. I want to get the right angle.
Yeah.
Plus, I lived in LA for a long time, and in LA, everyone has a best side.
Yeah. I love it. Tell about yourself to the audience. So who are you?
Well, my name is Michael Anderson, and I happen to be the Michael that's always in the club that MJ referred to. And when I first arrived at the property, I'm the general manager. Been here 8 months, maybe 9 months now. And MJ said, "I'm Michael, but I'll be MJ since you're Michael." So how's that for a giver?
That's truly a giver.
He said, "I'm going to avoid the confusion, and MJ works for me," and so forth. And it really has worked. And if I haven't told you that before, MJ, I sure appreciate it. Because the initials who knows?
It made it easier. It made it easier for me to remember your name. Oh, good, Michael. Michael. Okay, I'm good.
It's and if we hire another Michael, I'm going to change my name to Fred. But no, so I'm the general manager, as I mentioned, but I think in a lot of ways, I'm the luckiest guy because my background is hospitality. I was always in the restaurant business, the hotel business. I jokingly say for 15 years I was on the dark side. I worked for Caesars Entertainment, so I was in the casino.
Ooh. You've seen some dark side stuff.
But it was a very, very good place when it came to hospitality and food and beverage because you had a neat audience and you could try and do all kinds of things.
Correct.
And if something didn't work, it was still okay because the business model provided, if you had a hotel and you spent $1 million and it didn't work, you'd live with it for a while.
Can we I like that. Can we anchor on that a little bit? Because I think that's so important regarding to creating possibilities. Something you said is so important that y'all try new things. And if it didn't work, it wasn't like it was over it. Like you weren't afraid of failure, right? Is that what I'm hearing from you?
Very much an industry and a company at the time that I, worked for. We were risk takers, and we were encouraged to try new things, do different things, and see if it worked. And I have to admit, I really looked at the Columbia Tower. I looked at Club Corp as a company, and I was at a point in my career I wanted to make a very, very measurable, meaningful change in my career. I really was done with, I was working in organizations that, I had more than 1,000 team members that I was involved with. That was the favorite part, is I still even got to know the team.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that fun anymore.
Yeah.
And so I went back to think in terms of where did I have the most fun?
Yeah.
And it was in an atmosphere where you are like inviting people into your home, but it's not your home. You're preparing great meals. You're socializing around milestone events, having a cocktail, having a bottle of wine, and ensuring that people have great memories.
Yeah.
And the club really represents just a great canvas. And whoa, we almost got
you said canvas. And
We'll get this figured out at some point.
I love it.
That was a good catch.
I'm gonna keep asking questions, Brittany, move around between you and MJ and Michael just to see how you guys do it.
So it's been fun. Well, but also I did not know the club business coming into it.
Yeah.
Other than I really thought, what a wonderful way. And what I've learned in the short time is it was everything I thought it would be, but there have been some surprises. And the ability to develop relationships, to get to know the members and the wants and needs, and all of our members are members for categories, different reasons and so forth. Some come at happy hour, some come in the evening to dine, some are here right now all day long because it proves to be a great value as a startup, and not having to lease an office, and the team shows up as guests, and it's a collaboration. And then the next thing you know, your team is talking to a few other people that could add insight because they did something that might be different, but they're still going to give their opinion. And I really, it's just this, it's so organic how things happen every day. And, I've had to figure out, and I've certainly had, my stubbed toes and so forth in coming on, but it just is so fun. And I guess to get to the answer of the question, I'm a referee because because we're a for-profit business.
Yeah.
We are a private company right now, but held by, Apollo, and so you have certainly all of us. I'm sure everybody that is listening talks about EBITDA and profit, and so I'm on one hand dealing with that.
Yeah.
On the other hand, it's how can we do all the fun things we'd like to do, and coordinate that. And
yeah,
I even take it to the point that we have 60 team members generally, or
Right
more.
now it's 6.
Yeah, or 5. but they'll be back soon.
They'll be back soon.
And
so
the
true.
ability for them to grow and learn and enjoy what they do, and buy groceries,
yes,
and take care of their families and do all those things is key too. And so it really, for me, I'm at a point in my career, in my life, that the club, provides a little bit of everything that way.
Yes.
And 1 minute we're talking about what are we going to do with a fundraiser, and Joy and her committee, and we're talking about how we're going to stimulate this in business.
Yeah.
Or a week before we're shut down and we're limited, right before the virus, the shelter in place, here you have the mayor with two members of her team having coffee in the morning and breakfast right before we shut down.
Wow.
And you get a chance to firsthand, I hadn't met her before, say hello, tell her, I'm a newbie to Seattle and where I came from, and she, jokingly said, "Oh, you got here just in time,"
Yes.
But it's a kind of place where all those types of things can happen, and it is a magical place. And as a gatekeeper, as someone who's got the keys, I think my job and our job is to take responsibility and handle that to the best of our ability. And it's really been fun. And the current pandemic and the situation we're in, if it's given me one thing, it's given me time to stop and think.
Yeah.
And because I was new job, new company, new situation, getting pulled in all directions, and it's really clarified some things for me. And the one that's probably the most important is, okay, I'm in this, and I want to figure out how we get back to the best normal we can. So, MJ and I will be moving furniture and figuring out what we think will be the restrictions, and if it's 500 square feet and you can have so many people, well, then we'll have so many tables and chairs, and how we'll set so everyone can still do their thing to the best of our ability. And right now it's being inventive and creative and saying, okay, you're throwing me a lemon, let's figure out how to make lemonade.
You're right.
And then we have a huge advantage at the club, I believe, because I think our members have some confidence in us, and we will be able to communicate and show how we're keeping everyone as safe as they could possibly be if they're not at home.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the huge goal for us. And the company's helped us work on that. We're working on it, and I'm convinced it's going to be fun.
I love it. I'm glad you shared too, because one is, I think about the programming and making sure about that too, between the three of y'all. Some of the possibilities being created as a result, because either how do we stay true to our mission, right, and still stay engaged with our members, and still provide that experience, and how do we attract new members even in this shift of time. And I've been very impressed with what I've seen, but maybe you guys can share some for this audience. It will help them think about their own business models. Small business owners. We got a lot of small business owners on the phone. We got artists on here too. We have I actually got some business leaders in here that runs nonprofit organizations. Can you share some perspective of how you guys shift that paradigm, took some chances, staying true to your mission, right, in your programming? Any example you want to share with some folks that came from a creation idea that land to reality?
Well, I'm going to mention a few things and then kick it off to Brittany and MJ. But we right before, this pandemic, we had a complete refresh and a remodel on the in the club, and we really are answering the need for co-working. And we've seen, we had a month or so to watch the behavior, and I think our club is there are options for co-working, but none of them compare with the Columbia Tower Club. Yeah. And for those that want to co-work and receive the additional service touches, the atmosphere, and then at the times, you may or may not get involved with happy hour, but quite frankly, it's good to do that. The dining experiences, and not all our members do that every day. I mean, there are members that are there when I walk in the door in the morning and are still there, and they're working, and I'm going home. Yeah. And I got my 10 hours in. Yeah. And it's just amazing and so forth. But for that type of an atmosphere, and then you'll talk to various members and say, okay, well, I do go in the office, but if I can break away and do this or do that in the club, always something good comes of it. Or those times where you bring the team with you and those things happen. There's just so many components. Ricardo, our chef, he's award-winning, internationally known, Michelin star chef. Yes. He's been with us now for more than 2 years, and our atmosphere isn't that pretentious. Yeah. But our food is extraordinary. Mm-hmm. And it's there's that aspect of it. And so it really, there's a lot that can be offered, and if you compare monthly dues at some of the, all of the locations where you can co-work or our club, it's a step up, but it should be, because you get more from it. But frankly, it's a deal. Yeah. And I'm not selling. I'm going to leave that to the rest of my team. You're supposed to be the GM. It's okay.
Are you heading out?
I have an appointment.
Oh, before
I've got to go to at 6:30.
Can I see one question? Okay. I got rumors that you love to read books, and it's been a consistent question. So I'll ask it now. Normally I ask towards the end, but what's your top books you're reading right now?
All right. So I'm going to talk about a book I just finished. All right. So it's A Gentleman in Moscow. A Gentleman in Moscow. I bet I even have the author's name. Nice. But I have to look at it. I have a list of books that everybody tells me about.
Oh, nice. Maybe Brittany could post it on the Columbia Tower page, and when we post it,
we could do that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Amor Towles, AMOR Towles, TOWES, A Gentleman in Moscow. It is the most amazing book, and in the first 75 pages, don't give up. It is the best story. I won't ruin it at all to explain that this man, it takes place, the revolution is taking place. He's a nobleman. He does not believe in joining the party and joining in on the revolution. So his punishment is that he is under house arrest in a marvelous hotel in Moscow, and he cannot leave. Now, he moves out of a wonderful suite into very small quarters, and it is the story of his life from that point on. And it grows and grows and grows. It is absolutely wonderful. Wow. I recommend it to anybody. Now, for 75 pages, you're going to look at me and go, what? But it is the most wonderful escape. And what I'm looking for right now, when like I go home at night, is I want to read something that gets my mind off everything else.
Yes.
And so I just started something that I was on the ferry. There was an attorney sitting next, and we were talking. He asked me about what I was reading, which happened to be the book I just explained. And he recommended Shadow of the Wind.
Ooh, okay.
Carlos Ruiz Zafran.
Mm.
And Zafran is a Spanish author that it's a series. Now, this took place in Barcelona. It's about a boy and his father, and they own a bookstore in Barcelona. And the whole story, and it's a mystery. It is unbelievable. And I'm not that far into it, but this is a yarn that I think would be another one. But
nice.
Yeah, but that The Gentleman in Moscow, I think it's one of the best novels I've read in my life.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Joy said she loved that book. She read it too. And she read
good.
It. Good, yeah, good.
I'm not surprised. I mean, I even saw where Seth Meyers said something about it, which, you know, I mean, you got to take my word for it. I don't know, so, you know. But, you know, but we'll compare notes on the book list, it sounds like.
I appreciate it. Yeah, please, yeah. If Brittany can share it, I know a few people in here. I see Janie, she's also saying she's going to check it out too. Have it, read it.
I actually gave it away to another member. And I'll bring other books in and throw them in my drawer when I'm done, because you know, anyone who's interested in reading, I would just, you know, that's the fun thing, is just keep passing.
Yeah.
I mean, my daughter's 25 and lives in West Hollywood, and next to her apartment is this, it looks like a big mailbox, and it just says library, and everybody in the neighborhood, the rule is you can't take a book unless you put a book in.
I like that.
Unbelievable.
I like that.
And it's out on the street.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. So how's that
cool.
for some fun?
I'm always in LA. Oh, that's cool. All right, I'm gonna check it out. Okay. That's
I'm
cool.
not introducing you to my daughter. I'll see you later.
I wonder if there's a way that we can get like MJ and I on there. Like,
okay, cool. Tell Mike I said thank you very much. I know you have to leave. Tell him thank you very much. Appreciate him on there.
Hi, Michael.
Yeah, he set the stage for y'all two for sure. Because definitely, I want folks to listen to you guys and share some perspective of some things that you saw as a possibility. Especially you, Brittany. I know you and MJ, both y'all are always thinking of some creative stuff. And y'all literally take that idea and make it real. Like, can you share something? Because I think folks need to understand those steps it takes to make something real and not just let it stay in your head and go nowhere, right? So what's the things you guys doing?
Yeah. Well, I can say that for the virtual programming, so we temporarily closed our doors. That happened on March 16th.
Yep.
And on March 16th, I had a conversation with MJ and our chef and a few other people that were still here at the club at that time. And it was, what can we do to take Clublife online now?
Yeah.
Like immediately, tomorrow. How can we do that?
Correct.
And, you know, reaching out to members and asking if they had content to share, that's going to take a little bit of time.
Yeah.
But we had things to offer here in the club. And so that week we started with quarantine cooking with chef.
That was smart. Yeah.
Yes, and he looked at us a little crazy. He was like, "You want me to do what?" It's like, yeah, you just make some food and do it while being filmed.
Yeah, he's like, what do you mean? I know.
It's like, I'm an Italian chef. I don't do this.
MJ's making cocktail drinks too. Mary's making cocktail drinks.
Yes, and so the other thing was our mixology minutes with MJ, because he's so fabulous. And those were our two pieces that we came out with the first week. And you know, we just tried to pivot as quickly as possible. And then we started having conversations with those members that had reached out to us beforehand. They were like, hey, if this ever presented itself as an opportunity. I would love to share this with the membership. And so, for instance, David George Brooke, the gratitude guy, he had shared with me several times that he would love to do a keynote. And it's just, in person, finding that opportunity is sometimes difficult because in person, you want to make sure that there's an event around it, that it all fits. But what he has to share is valuable in and of itself. Yeah. And so, being able to put that online, it was super simple. So I started immediately reaching out to some of those members that had said, hey, I have something, I'd love to share it. So I circled back real quick and I was like, so that thing we talked about, would you like to share it next week? Do a Zoom meeting? And we've just been super blessed to have some amazing members that have shared. And
I don't even realize you're I'm gonna say something you shared is now is what I'm hearing is the sense of community. Because a lot of times you think we gotta push content and product out to the members because the membership, member base. But the fact that you came with ideas and started sharing, and the members themselves started to contribute and jump in and help. That shows you we're a group, right? We're a collective, we're a community. And MJ was hitting this earlier too, just the importance of that same experience we had in the actual club and connecting with people authentically, right?
Yeah.
Pays dividends on times of need. And I always tell folks, hey, when you're looking for a job, for example, don't come the day you're looking for a job. Like, let's be connected, just as humans throughout our life and journey. And I don't mean every day, every week. It could be once a year. It could be every 6 months. It could be wherever that cadence may be. But having that active engagement and connectivity, people feel the authentic connection. So then when you actually are looking for an opportunity, it's organic. I'll refer you in a second. Everyone knows me. I probably refer 3 people per week. Everyone knows I refer. Right. So you're listening right now, I refer you too. Right. but we do that. And so what you're saying, the same thing is the connections that you built are paying dividends back.
Absolutely. And what we've shared with those members that have helped us during this time is that we want to keep this going. So everything that we've shared to our membership, we have also shared on a national platform. So there's a whole group of people that you'd have to pay a ton in marketing to be able to reach that many people.
So true.
And so, we've provided that, but then also the plan is to continue these sort of engagements once we do reopen our doors.
Yes.
And it may still continue to be virtual. It may be something that is in person and virtual.
Correct.
But we want to keep that platform for them, not just because they helped them during this time, but they provided something that was so valuable. Yeah. And it's just an awesome way to keep it going and to reach more members. Because, we were having this conversation in our member happy hour, which that's another way we're engaging every Thursday from 4:30 to 5:30.
That's why we try. That's why. I like start at 5 or do I join at happy hour? Let me do the happy hour first, then join. Sorry, y'all. We do the happy hour first.
Yeah.
Then we join. Go ahead.
Yeah, but we kind of started with that, but being able to continue in person is just so important, and so we want to make sure that we're doing that. And the mixology minute with MJ. He like pivoted so quick. I was like, hey, could you do this? And he's like, yep, I'll have a recipe for you tomorrow.
That's so cool, man.
I'll let him talk a little bit about that.
And please. And here's the tagline too. I'm not sure he's on Kevin Mulberry, but he was on a couple sessions ago. He calls it the PCP, post-COVID pivot.
Nice.
PCP.
I love it.
Yeah.
Nice.
MJ.
What's going on? Yeah, so basically for the Mixology Minute, what I wanted to do was share a couple of cocktails that I've been doing throughout my life, some basic stuff that people can do at home with some just simple ingredients. And every now and then I'll throw in something a little fancy just because I should.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's an opportunity just to go through and just try different things that you normally wouldn't try and see, you know, what makes a mojito, what makes a Cadillac fancy, margarita, you know, what's an Aperol Spritz and why is it the rage in Europe? You know, those little things make a difference. And just being able to explain my craft and a couple of things that just give me joy. Because, you know, I'm a huge wine collector and I have tons of whiskey. And for me, it's all in my head.
Hold up. You're a huge wine collector and you're tons of whiskey. So after this is all over with, I'm coming to your house.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you're more than welcome to come over to my house. It's funny because I want to say last Saturday, I actually had a buddy come with me and help build some planter boxes in my house out front because this is something I've been trying to do for a really long time. Yeah. And as a thank you gift for him, I gave him a bottle of 18-year Glenlivet. You know? Yeah, exactly. So it's just little things like that, you know, that I have. And because I always like to say, as I was telling you before, is that I try and put some positive energy and some karma out there. And my buddy Jim Hidalgo gifted me last Christmas a bottle of Johnny Walker Blue. Oh, you know, so you know, if you're good and you're a nice person out there, then all that stuff comes back at you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I saw so true. Andy mentioned a comment earlier too. Is you when you're authentic and connected with people, it's you drive influence and people want to come back in. So I would say to that point, I have a bar over here, tons of different liquors, and I don't know how to make drinks. So I might have to have you come over here and we do some social distancing. I can stand 6 feet away.
Yes, I'm totally fine with that.
And you just help me out. I mean, or we can do a virtual chat and I can learn.
No, absolutely. Yeah, it's funny because throughout my life, I've always been a food and beverage guy. And I got my degree in hospitality from Washington State University.
Go Cougs.
Back in the day. Go Cougs. And so what I would do is I would go through at every single party that I was at. I was always the bartender. I was always the fun guy. I was always talking. I was always mingling. And so, you know, hospitality is a perfect thing for me. So going through and, you know, being who I am and my energy and my personality and just making sure that people are genuinely enjoying themselves and having a good time. It just comes natural to me because that's what I want to do. I want to make people feel good about themselves, right? And I tell anybody, if you ever know me or anything, I'm always going to be a giver. You can even, when Michael Anderson was talking about it before, the first thing I wanted to do when he got here was make him feel comfortable, right?
Yeah.
It's important for people to be comfortable in their own skin and be comfortable in their own environment. And so that's something that I take very, very serious. And I want to make sure that people feel comfortable and feel welcome. You know, and going through and being of service to people is something that gives me joy. And so that, like we were talking earlier about purpose, and that's something that makes me feel good.
I got another P word for you that you're saying that I'll make sure the audience catch it because it's been consistent in every chat I had and y'all say it consistently. Present. You are very present when you're engaging with people. You are running an operation and you still take time. I remember Joey, I was saying in chat, you like this, I got numerous stories. You come and you're super present with the person. I mean, share about that because when you're present, what opens up for you? And I think folks, a lot of times we'll engage, but you can see their mind somewhere else. And it's very obvious. And as a result, the person walks away, feel that they did a service. They really didn't do anything. If anything, they made it worse. But you connect. You really are present. So talk about that. How did you start? How did you know to do that? Like, you always been that way?
Yeah, well, it's a learned behavior, and I have to thank my mom, Grace Johnson, because she's the one that taught me at an early age to make sure that that you're engaged with people. Because if you don't care about people, then people aren't going to care about you. If you take literally and to go through and make eye contact and be genuine with somebody takes 2 seconds, right? You can go through and have 5 seconds with somebody and look at their eyes and make that genuine connection, whereas somebody can be engaged with you for 30 seconds and kind of be drifting back and forth, and it doesn't mean anything, right? So you actually get more use out of your time by being honest and genuine and being in the moment and being present, like you were saying before, than any other way that's out there. So you actually do yourself a disservice by trying to be in and out when all it takes is literally 5 to 10 seconds to be in the moment and be with that person, because that's where you get that genuine connection. That's where you get that authenticity. and you'll have longer friends, and you'll have greater connections because of it.
Yeah, and then especially you, when you come back and see a person next time, you have a recall.
Yeah.
Because when you're present, you actually hear and listen to things, and your recall is there. So I'm grateful for you for being that way. Because I think these troubling times, folks are still having this great anxiety, right, of this fake future, and they don't know what's happening, and we're this and they worry about this. A lot of things they worry about, but they're still missing the opportunity. Is that you're home.
Mm-hmm.
I'm home. What can I do with this? What opportunity can I expand upon? What book have I read? Like I'm reading this right here in my power now. Like what have I read? You know, what I want to write a book. I want like that kind of stuff. You're present to it, and then or my friends. Hey, who I need to connect with? See how they're doing. How they help. So I do a virtual chat. So it's like you do that all the time, man. So I appreciate you sharing that.
Mm-hmm.
One more question for you in this area too, because obviously you represent success. Right, and that's why I adore you. I love you, man. You're super cool. You're a reason why I'm still in the club. And I tell you that all the time. So let the club know that I'm here because of you. Success takes endurance, especially in your space. So I'm assuming, do you agree with that? Success takes endurance, and I mean that by there was struggles throughout the way. We're living that struggle now. How do you? What advice can you give folks when that happens? When you feel in the struggle points and muscling through to success? What's your advice?
Well, and I actually mentioned this yesterday when I was talking to David Brooke and Brittany yesterday after the session, is that one of the things that I've actually used, especially in these last 2 to 3 weeks, is a quote from Frederick Douglass. It's without struggle, there isn't progress.
Say it again.
Yes, and I'll say it. Without struggle, there isn't progress, which means that you have to hit your lows in order to appreciate the highs. That means that you can't go through life when everything's happy and everything's fun. A true judge of somebody's character, my dad told me this a long time ago, is when shit hits the fan, when everything goes wrong, you see everybody's true character. And so I use that for my whole life, is that, nobody's perfect. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to do some bad things, right? Yes. It doesn't define who you are. It just means you made a mistake in the moment. And that's what a lot of people have to understand, is that it's not about what your failures are. It's about your attempt to get up and try again. It's about what you can do to be positive and how you can go and embrace the world. Like I said before, is that one of the things, especially, like I said, in these last 2 to 3 weeks, what I've been trying to do is put out some positivity out there. Try to do some things to make somebody besides myself feel good. And then when you do that, then all of a sudden it's contagious. You're doing a little thing. I told you that I had a friend come and help me do some planter boxes, and I went and I put that on Facebook. And I had 15 people that said, thanks, MJ. I appreciate you doing that, because you know what? That's one of my projects to do right now. This is something that I'm going to go do. You know what I mean? I've been sitting here, and you're going to laugh at me right now because, TikTok's a rage going on these days. And, and I told my kids, you're not going to be bored in the house and you're in the house bored. You're going to be stuck in the house and you're going to have fun. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's these little things that, it's your mental paradigm and how you think about yourself. And there's so much negativity that's out there. And even going back to what happened yesterday with the gratitude guys speeches, it's just a few positive words that you tell yourself each and every single day. And one of the things that my mom told me a long time ago is, I'm a good person, I'm capable, and I can achieve. And so you talk about success. It's about telling yourself these little things each and every single day that helps drive you, that helps give you purpose, that helps give you meaning. That means that you're not just going to be okay, you're going to be successful. And not because of anything that anybody did for you, but what you're committed to doing for yourself.
So accurate. Because your only blocker is yourself. There's nothing else blocking you. I can't do it. Why not? Who said you can't do it? Like, he can do it. Well, what makes him any different than you? You're both humans. You're both designed the same way. And so to your point, you realize that possibilities are limitless, except what you limit yourself and your thoughts. Get past your thoughts. That's just fear, right? It's a past event that happened, and your mind taking shortcuts. Well, you can't do it because it didn't work last time. Whoa. What do you mean I can't do it because it worked last time? So I think people become conscious to that and realize, hey, get myself out the way and jump and try, right? Some people will go to the pool, look at the water, and won't jump in. other folks would just jump right in, right? And so, it'll be cold for about 2 seconds, but you're warm, right? And so you jump in. And the other thing you mentioned too, as far as failure, the view there is failures mean is another way. My cousin said this last week. Just another way of not to do something, right? You learn, and you pivot. You learn, you pivot. But if you never try, you stay there on the sideline, not moving. So, I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, no problem. Always happy to contribute.
And people say they feeling the love too. What's some closing remarks you guys want to share from you and Brittany as well, while we have the audience attention?
Okay, I'm gonna pass it over to Brittany first.
Sure.
Ahead, Brittany.
Yeah. Hey. I think our goal right now from a club standpoint is making sure that our community stays a community. Yeah. So, we're trying to do that through the virtual programming, through, weekly happy hours, but we don't want that community piece to go away.
Correct.
So, from the club standpoint, I think that would probably be our biggest goal. Is just that, our members feel that they're still part of a community. From a personal standpoint, I would say my biggest goal is just helping people realize that they're not alone. It's so easy right now to feel alone, especially people that don't have anyone at their house and that don't get to interact with people at all. Just really reaching out. There's so many people that I haven't talked to in years, and I've just taken the opportunity to pick up the phone and call and be like, hey, how are you doing? How's it going? Just to make sure that, this isolation period, they don't feel isolated.
So spot on.
Yeah. So
Kyle say the world covered, how many people we have in the world? 9 billion people. Like, how can we ever be alone, right? But too, it's the state of mind, right? And I say, like, right now, like, you and I both are people, right? And I felt it hit me hard. Like, I couldn't be around humans. And that's what birthed this idea here with the virtual chat. Because I love to mentor. I love to give back. I love to connect with people. And I say, well, how can I connect with multiple people at one time? I don't have the capacity to have, 100 phone calls. I try though. I still try. But it's like, how do I open up a platform like here where I can scale and reach many people? Currently, that's in the chat right now, which we appreciate you guys here, but also those who watch it afterwards. And I'm always fascinated by the response afterwards too. People say, hey, I really got something from that session, Jexi. Or I'm glad you guys talk about X, Y, and Z. And you and I talked about it too, Brittany, yesterday about, hey, I really got a lot from the session last week. That opens me up. So to your point, we're never alone, man. If anything you feel alone, reach out more.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that, it's crazy because we've had to move basically all of life online. So all of your engagements have had to go online. And I love how there have been so many groups and organizations such as churches that it's so crazy when you go driving around, you now see on church billboards, it says, look at our website. And
I know.
Some people are like, wait, that church has a website? There's 5 people that go to that church. Apparently they have a website. And
I hope I don't put no one in this statement here, but I told someone, I said, churches on TV had such a bad rep for a long time. Now the game has changed. This online church is like, oh, this is great. So now the online church has a whole new refreshed perspective. The reality has shifted that quickly.
Yeah. And I grew up in the church. I was super fortunate to be able to go to church with my entire family. Like my grandparents, my aunts and uncles, we all lived in the same city. And so us all going to church together hasn't happened in years. But because so many churches have now gone online quickly and they're using Facebook Live, you can do a watch group with the people. So now all of a sudden, 20 years later, I'm going to church with my family. So that's been awesome. I just think that type of engagement has been amazing. And I love that people are doing things that they wouldn't have normally done. There are webinars that are now free that,
Yes.
you probably wouldn't have made the time or
Correct.
didn't have the time to go to in person. But now you just have this crazy access. And I mean, for instance, at the club, we did the digital marketing series last week. That probably would have, because they do that in person, it probably would have been $1,000 to attend for a full week. And they did it for free. And some amazing tools.
That's spot on. You're right. There's a lot of content, and I love to see how the content becomes available. People generally want to give back, and they find every way possible. You see, even sports players are using their network and access to bring in guests to inform the masses. You just see all these new things you wouldn't see, and I agree with all you guys say. Lies won't go away. That'll be part of our new norm, because what it's with any struggles, like MJ said, opens up opportunities, because you get the volume. And Mia LJ is on. She's a singer. She's an artist, and she's gonna be showing the show soon in May. She's an artist, bring out music, and she knows it's too, going from the struggle to creating ideas and innovation and perspective, and so that part you see, and you see the response. Like, it was one DJ Nice, he went live on Instagram, and he had over 160,000 people join, and then weeks later you had two famous singers broke Instagram, like 1 million plus people came on. Like, you just wouldn't think of this 6 weeks ago.
I forget who says this, but you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Yes.
So, I love that people now are like trying new things, and it may not work, and that's okay. It's totally okay. And to what MJ was saying, you're not going to appreciate your successes if you don't go through your failures. And I love how people are trying so many different things, and there's so much response. So it's difficult right now with not being able to connect in person, and there are literally people dying. Like that is happening right now. But and I don't want to minimize that at all.
No,
but
correct.
I love how people are really opening up and doing different engagements than what they would have normally done. It's kind of like everybody's life just went on pause and then reset. And it was like, well, how do we do it different?
Mention that too. I got the 1 minute note, so it may pause or you get a reset. It's up to you guys. We can close it in there, or we can reopen. But go ahead. I just caught that.
There's one thing that I want to make sure that I reach out to everybody is thank you very much for this. So we appreciate it. This is your Columbia Tower Club staff, and thank you very much. This is a sense of community and a sense of belonging and ownership, and it's great to be a part of this. So thank you very much for allowing us to be a part of this forum. I'm gonna leave you with one thing. My mom shared. Sorry about that. I know. Well, I'll just put it this way. My mom shared something with me the other day, and I want to make sure I share this with everybody. Good friends care for each other. Close friends understand each other. True friends stay forever, beyond words, beyond distance, and beyond time. So just think about that and where you fit in those categories and what type of friend you are. And make sure that you're doing your part in order to help society out.
MJ, mic drop.
Mic drop.
Hello, this is Mr. Rose. Thank you for tuning in. Be sure to come back every week for new podcast content. Special thanks to my daughter and her team and all their hard work putting this content together. Be engaged. Be aware. Be ready. Be heard. Thank you.